Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be explaining the theory or the principle that is involved in the experiment of estimation of zinc using EDTA. So first, the aim of the experiment. Here in this experiment, we will estimate the amount of zinc that is present in the given unknown solution. So here, by making use of standard EDTA solution, we are going to estimate how much of zinc is present in the given zinc sulfate solution. The standard EDTA, when I'm going to tell, it is nothing but a standard solution is the one which the concentration of which is exactly known. So here, since we are taking EDTA as the standard solution, the concentration of EDTA is fixed, that is 0.025 molar. So using this 0.025 molar EDTA solution and by making use of Areochrome black tea as the indicator, we are going to find out how much of zinc is present in the given unknown solution. So here, this is the outline of the procedure of this experiment. So the entire experiment is divided into three steps. That is, preparation of the standard zinc sulfate solution. That is, we are going to prepare exactly 0.025 molar solution of zinc sulfate. Using the standard solution of zinc sulfate, we are going to standardize the EDTA solution. So the EDTA solution will already be prepared. We need to know what is the exact concentration of this EDTA. That's why we're going to standardize this EDTA solution using the standard zinc solution, that is the standard zinc sulfate solution. So first we prepare 0.025 molar solution of zinc sulfate. Using this, we're going to pipette out 25 ml of this solution, and then by making use of Areochrome black tea, that is EBT indicator, we are going to standardize the EDTA solution which is given. So we get approximately 0.025 molar EDTA solution, but the exact concentration of this solution is determined in the second step. Lastly, the third step, what we do is we take the unknown zinc solution what is given to us and we are going to titrate it against the standard EDTA. That is the EDTA which has been standardized in the second step. So in the final step, we exactly know what is the concentration of EDTA. Okay, so by making use of the molarity equation, that is M1V1 is equal to M2V2, we can identify what is the concentration of the zinc in the unknown solution. So if we take the equation M1V1 is equal to M2V2, so suppose we consider this for zinc sulfate and this is for EDTA. So here the molarity of zinc sulfate, the amount of zinc that is present in the solution has to be found out. So M1 will be unknown. The volume that we are going to take, that is we are going to pipette out 25 ml of the zinc sulfate in the conical flask. So it will be 25. Next, molarity of EDTA. This we are going to find out in the second step since we are going to standardize this EDTA. So we can substitute this molarity which is approximately equal to 0.025 molar and the volume what we take is nothing but the burette reading. So this is a molarity which is already known because finding out this value of molarity in the second step of the experiment. Okay, so by knowing all these different values, we can find out what is the molarity of this given zinc sulfate solution. So what is the principle that is involved in this experiment? So mainly the theory or the principle that is involved here is complexometric, that is the formation of complex between zinc and indicator and zinc and EDTA. So how this formation of complex of the metal ion with the indicator as well as EDTA, due to how this complex is formed, we can find out the color change that is occurring in the reaction, and with the help of the color change we will be identifying the end point of the titration or the reaction completion in this titration. So we know that Areochrome black tea indicator is nothing but a metal ion indicator. So this indicator is blue in color. So in the first step, as I've already told, we prepare a standard solution of zinc sulfate. Then what we do is we pipette out 25 ml of the standard solution into the conical flask and add 2 to 3 drops of this Aerochrome black tea indicator. So this Aerochrome black tea indicator is blue in color. So as soon as you add this 2 or 3 drops of the indicator, the solution in the conical flask will be blue in color. So what happens is, immediately when you add this Aerochrome black tea indicator, the indicator which is blue in color, solution has zinc ions in it. So zinc ions and this Aerochrome black tea indicator will combine with each other. So let me just write the reaction what is involved. So EBT is added to the zinc sulfate solution which is taken in the conical flask. So solution of zinc sulfate in the conical flask has zinc ions. This EBT is blue in color. So as soon as you add this EBT to zinc, that is the solution of zinc in the conical flask, the zinc and EBT will form a complex. So we get EBT zinc complex. So this complex between the zinc and the EBT is wine red in color. So as soon as you add the blue colored indicator, the solution, the blue colored whatever the indicator, first what you can see, as soon as it is added to the solution containing zinc, zinc and EBT will combine together to give wine red colored solution. So this is what happens in the beginning. Later what happens is, now in the later steps, what you're going to do is you're going to titrate this solution against EDTA. So when you're titrating against EDTA, slowly you're going to add the EDTA from the burette to this solution of zinc sulfate combined with the EBT indicator, which is taken in the conical flask. So we know that in the conical flask, there is EBT zinc complex, which is wine red in color. So as and when you're going to titrate it against EDTA, which is taken in the burette, so EDTA is again colorless solution. So as and when you're going to add it, this zinc, whatever is forming a complex with this EBT, this complex will be broken down and zinc will dissociate itself from the EBT and it will go and form the complex with EDTA. Since zinc has more affinity to form a complex, or the zinc EDTA complex is more stable when compared to the zinc EBT complex. So here we get the zinc EDTA complex, and since the zinc has been dissociated from this EBT zinc complex, we get the free EBT indicator molecules. So now, since this free EBT indicator molecules are present at the end point, after all this, the entire zinc, whatever was formed, whatever was in the complex form with this EBT has been dissociated, and after it has formed complex with EDTA, only the thing that is left is EBT, which is free indicator molecules. The free indicator molecules are blue in color. That's why at the end point, the wine red colored solution will completely get converted to blue colored solution, because at the product end, we have the zinc EDTA complex, which is colorless, and the blue colored indicator molecules. So once the reaction is complete, we have only the free EBT molecules, which are blue in color. So as the reaction progresses, the wine red color slowly gets converted to blue. And at the end point, the color change is from wine red to blue in color. So this is the theory of the colors that is involved in this reaction, and what is a basic reaction that is involved. How the complex is formed between zinc and indicator in the beginning, and then this complex breaks down to form the zinc EDTA complex. So let me explain this with the help of the structures of indicator as well as EDTA. So we know that first, in the first step, the zinc sulfate standard solution is formed. Next step, 25 ml of the standard solution is pipetted out into the conical flask. So then to this we are going to add 2 to 3 drops of EBT indicator. So EBT indicator is blue in color. The zinc sulfate solution is colorless. So let me just write the structure of EBT indicator. So EBT indicator has the structure. So it has this bicyclic system with the nitro group, SO3Na, and OH group here. And here we have the azo group. And again, the fused ring. So this is the structure of EBT, that is nothing but areochrome black tea indicator, which is blue in color. Here in this structure itself, it is very clear there are many oxochromes as well as chromophores that are present in this molecule. Okay, so because of which the absorption also will take place. Okay, and therefore there is also color that is imparted to this molecule. So this will combine with the zinc ions that is present in the conical flask. So to this conical flask, whatever the zinc sulfate solution you are going to take in the conical flask, to this we are going to add the EBT indicator, which is blue in color. That's why I have marked it in blue. So now what happens is, in the first step, the zinc will form a complex with the EBT indicator. So we can see here in the structure of the indicator, that is EBT indicator, SO3Na. So here NO2 in double bond N, this is the azo group. And here we again have 2 rings. And this is, here we have the 2 OH groups. So you can see here 2 H groups are present, which can easily be removed. And in the place of these 2 H, the zinc ions will go and form the complex. So we can see here the 2 hydrogens are removed, and in its place the zinc will go and combine. We know that zinc has the valency of 2 plus 2 charge. So 2 H plus ions, if they are removed, that will be neutralized by the Zn2 plus ion to form this structure of the complex which is given here, which is nothing but zinc EBT complex. And this complex that is formed is wine red in color. So as I've already explained, when you're going to add this EBT indicator to the zinc solution which is taken in the conical flask, the solution becomes wine red in color because of the complex formation between zinc and EBT indicator. Okay, so now we know that in the next step what we are going to do is we are going to titrate this wine red colored solution against EDTA solution taken in the burette. So now continuing with the second step, what is happening is we know that in case of this, the second step what we do is whatever the wine red colored solution is there, that is the complex between the zinc and the EBT, what was there in the conical flask, it is being titrated against the EDTA solution which is taken in the burette. So now in the conical flask we have the zinc EBT complex. So this is in the conical flask. This is titrated against EDTA which is taken in the burette. So EDTA is nothing but ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. So here, since it is ethylene, there should be 2 carbons. Diamine means the 2 nitrogens. Tetraacetic acid, that means each are connected with 2 each, so totally 4 tetra. So acetic acid, since 1 hydrogen has been replaced, that is substituted, we have this CH2, COOH, CH2, COOH, and CH2, COOH. Usually for experimental purposes, they will use the disodium salt of the EDTA so that there will not be any solubility problems. Okay, so here now we shall see if the valency has been satisfied. The 4 tetraacetic acid, the acetic acid groups, there is the valency has been satisfied. Nitrogen valency has already been satisfied. The 3 bonds are formed. Here carbon 2 bonds are formed, so that's why it is CH2 and CH2. So this is the structure of EDTA. Although the structure looks a bit complex, there's nothing complexity in remembering the structure, because if you just remember the name of EDTA, you can easily write the structure of ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. So now what happens? This zinc and zinc EBT complex and EDTA are titrated against each other. So as I've already told, as EDTA is added to the zinc EBT complex, the zinc will dissociate itself from the zinc EBT complex, and it will go and bind, or it will go and form a complex with the EDTA. So thus we get the final, what we get is zinc EDTA complex and the free EBT indicator. That is, the EBT and the zinc have been dissociated from each other. So the free EBT indicator will be left at the end. So we know that EBT indicator is blue in color. So the color change is from wine red to blue. So let me write the structure of this zinc EDTA complex. So zinc EDTA complex is nothing but an octahedral complex, because we know that EDTA is a hexadentate ligand. That is a single ligand which has 6 coordinating atoms or 6 ligating atoms. That's why, since there are 6 ligating atoms, the complex that is formed is octahedral in structure. So the zinc will be in between. So here we have the octahedral arrangement of the 6 ligating atoms. So this is nothing but the octahedral arrangement. In EDTA, the 6 ligating atoms are the 2 nitrogens. And here, out of these 4 acetic acid groups, hydrogens, if protons are removed, we will get COO minus, 4 COO minus groups. So these 4 oxygens and 2 nitrogens are the 6 ligating atoms in EDTA. So we have this 2 ligating atoms, that is the nitrogens, which are connected with each other with the 2 methylene groups. So this is one, and the other 4 ligating atoms are oxygens, which are from the 4 tetraacetic acid groups. So we have CH2, CO, O, and this is oxygen which is ligated. Next we have CH2, CO, O, which is ligated again. Next we have this CH2, CO, and oxygen. Same way, CH2, CO, and O. So we have the formation of the octahedral zinc complex, that is complex of EDTA with zinc that is formed. So let me just tell. So in the theory part, so first the zinc sulfate, which is colorless, you add EBT indicator, which is blue in color. The complex of wine red color is formed, that is zinc and EBT complex. This zinc EBT complex, when titrated against EDTA, will form zinc EDTA complex, which is octahedral in arrangement, and the free EBT indicator is formed, which is blue in color. So the color changes from wine red to blue in this titration. So I'll be continuing with the demonstration of this experiment and how we perform this experiment along with the calculation part in the next part of the video. Thank you for watching this video.